you ever stopped to think what a mad, mad world we all live in? We human beings, and how we've created this madness ourselves. For example, if you study history, if you go back even way back thousands of years, there's always been this business of, I haven't got enough, I need more, or somebody's going to steal what I've got from me. And so we've reached this stage today where the whole world could be annihilated just with the madness of one person taking a step too far. We spend trillions of dollars on the upkeep, development and utilisation of armaments, for example. Armaments which are almost obsolete before they even leave the drawing board. Yet we continue to spend our money on it. Why? Because of one little thing. Our imagined self. Our imagined self. We all have it. This ego self that lives in fear and is separate, seemingly separate from everything else. And it's so fearful. Of course, the level of fear is different in all types of people. For example, if I was walking down the street and accidentally dropped a large note, such as say a $50 note, dropped onto the floor, and a number of people observed it. Let's say person number one observed it, raced over, picked it up, ran after me and said, "Look, mate, you've dropped this $50 note," and gave it me back. Now there is a person with very little egoic fear as far as having a lack of money is concerned. Another person sees the opportunity, "Oh, look, he's dropped a $50 note. Wow, I can keep that." And then there's the third level of people who knows that you've got the $50 note in your back pocket and would go to lengths to pick it out of your pocket without you being aware of it. Or worse still, stand around the corner with a blunt instrument, bang you on the head and take it. So you can see there's all different varieties or levels of egoic fear. The ego, this self-image that I am not enough, I need more. And sometimes it's need more money, often or not it is. Very common. We all are subject to that. I'd like a little bit more. And when a little bit more arrives, I'd like a little bit more. It's never ending. Or recognition. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I want to be looked at. But, of course, looked at with favour, envied, become famous. So this is another thing that the ego, this self-image self wants. Long ago, Buddha is said to have said there are right livelihoods, and the implication was, of course, there are a lot wrong livelihoods. The right livelihood is a livelihood that helps in the common weal, brings goodness, brings joy, brings happiness to other people as well as oneself. So wrong livelihood would obviously be the opposite. Of course, when we're young, we can be conned into wrong livelihood without even thinking about it. For example, when I was 18, I joined the Australian Navy. It was our Navy. We're against them. We're the best, and so forth. Which means, of course, someone's the worst. This is the way our self-image mind thinks. It has to be perpetually better perpetually greater, perpetually more important than anyone else's. And we're all subject to it. So it begins with I. I am this, I am that. And then my loved one is this, and they belong to me. And then my family. And then my neighbourhood. And then my city. Then my state. And you see people go to football matches. They start a riot because their state was defeated by the other state. It's almost as though it was a personal thing. And it was a personal thing. It became personal when you identified with it. And we do this so often. Identify with our ideas of what we feel and think and believe we are. Little realising that we've put those beliefs, or those beliefs have been put into us by others who we've trusted, and by ourselves, unthinkingly adding to this thing called our self-image. And this self-image in each of us is so dangerous, because it doesn't want to be recognised for what it is. Just an idea, just a conglomeration of thought forms in the mind body of the person who owns it or holds it within. It's terrified of discovery, terrified. And so we see the perpetuation right throughout history of people who never take the step towards self-understanding, to what they really are, to always thinking that they will find what will make them happier, more peaceful, greater, more purposeful, outside of themselves. It doesn't work that way. Happiness is an inside job. And as it's been said, if you go without, or if you don't go within, you go without. You go without that self-realisation which will bring you the self-understanding, the peace, the joy, the purposeful living that each of us really wants. But the very first point we need to realise that there is the real self and there's the self-image self. Work on dissolving the self-image self, and the real self will gradually manifest in your life.